point that we begin to get into the events from the bonus episode. Remember that debate Luitprand had with the Byzantine emperor about whether or not Otto was a tyrant for sacking Berengar? Well, that's what's about to happen here. Before he left for Italy, Otto crowned his 6-year-old son as Otto II, heir apparent to the kingdom, just in case. With this business settled, in August of 961, Otto crossed the Alps and once again defeated Berengar to claim the crown of Italy. Luitprand says, quote, "The good King Otto brought together what had been scattered and mended what had been broken, restoring to each man his due possessions. Then he advanced on Rome to do the same again." End quote. Soon thereafter, Otto entered St. Peter's Basilica and was crowned on February 2nd, the year 962, Emperor of the Romans, uniting the kingdoms of Germany and Italy once again into a single realm. On the crowning, Wilson says, quote, "Otto's coronation did not refound the empire, nor create a new empire, since a sense of the original Carolingian realm had persisted, and there had been plenty of individual emperors after Charlemagne. Nonetheless, his coronation was a significant event, and clearly intended to put papal-imperial relations on a new improved footing." End quote. Any improved footing the relationship between emperor and pope had was immediately squandered when Otto discovered that the pope was allegedly seeking allies to put Adalbert, Berengar's son, back on the Italian throne. No doubt enraged, and at this point feeling entirely too old for this stuff, Otto convened a synod at St. Peter's. There, he deposed Pope John, the first time in history a sitting pope had been dethroned by jurisdiction of an emperor. In December of the year 963, the Roman clergy elected Leo VIII as the new pope, and almost immediately, a schism in the Catholic Church erupted. Otto would have to put down several successive rebellions in the years between 963 and 966, drawing out the Italian problem to a total of 4 years, from 961 to 966, that Otto spent trying to corral the peninsula under imperial hegemony. Otto would return to Germany in August of 972, after expanding his territories in Sicily and negotiating with the Byzantines to allow Otto II to marry a niece of the ruling Byzantine emperor. The next year, on May the 7th, 973, Otto the Great, Duke of Saxony, King of East Francia and Italy, and Emperor of the Romans, died at the age of 60. He had been the most powerful European ruler since Charlemagne, reunited the German peoples, reclaimed the mantle of the Holy Roman Empire, and left a smooth transition of power to his son Otto II. His rule also led to what historians refer to as the Ottonian Renaissance, a smaller-scale reinstatement of the examination of antiquity-era texts, as well as an uptick in education, writing, and culture broadly. Though it wasn't quite as significant as the famed 14th century Renaissance, the impact that Otto's Renaissance had on Germany and Italy should not be discounted. Unfortunately for the Ottonians, the reigns of Otto's son and grandson cannot be said to have been quite as significant. Otto II would die 10 years into his reign, after managing to lose a chunk of the eastern section of his empire to a Slavic uprising, fighting a largely pointless war in France, and floundering against the Islamic Fatimid dynasty in campaigns for southern Italy. After the emperor had died suddenly, his 3-year-old son, Otto III, took the throne in 983, with young Otto's mother as queen regent. When Otto III, now all of 14 years old, took the throne of Germany in 994, he immediately faced 2 rebellions, one to his east from the Slavs, who had broken free from his father, and one from the south, led by a man named Crescentius II, who was attempting to make himself the nominal ruler of Rome. Young Otto immediately sprang into action, putting down the First Slavic Rebellion, and then gathering his forces to make the march across the Alps into Italy, just as his father and grandfather had done before him. Crescentius would surrender before Otto ever made it to Rome, however, and Otto was able to nominate his cousin as Pope Gregory V. Convinced by his cousin to show clemency to the rebels, Otto pardoned all of them, including Crescentius. Otto was then crowned Emperor of the Romans and King of Italy. But by this point, I'm sure it's fairly obvious what's about to happen next. If you guessed, Crescentius will rebel and install his own pope as soon as Otto leaves Italy. Then congrats, you've probably been paying attention. Otto would again be forced to cross into Italy and depose Crescentius as pope, reinstate Pope Gregory, and behead Crescentius for his crimes. After putting down the rebellion, Otto moved his court to the city of Rome, making it his new imperial capital. Otto had big plans for Rome that included infrastructure overhauls and a revitalization of the Roman Empire itself. Otto even supposedly had designs on bringing back the old Senate from Rome's glory days. And in case the events of his reign so far hadn't done the trick, Otto decided to put even more clout behind his name, adding the titles of the Servant of Jesus Christ, the Servant of the Apostles, Consul of the Senate and the people of Rome, and Emperor of the World to his collection. Otto would spend a few years consolidating his empire and putting down rebellions here and there, before the people of Rome rose up against their emperor in the year 1001. Otto fled the city and traveled north to gather his armies. Tragically, though, on his way back down to Rome to mollify the rebellion, Otto III fell ill and died at the age of only 21 years old. He had ruled independently for only 6 years. Because of his young age, Otto had not yet married or had a child, so the counts and dukes of Germany would once again have to elect a king. Seeing his chance, Otto III's second cousin Henry had himself crowned king, and spent several years consolidating his power grab by putting down several claimants to the throne. Henry would have to repeat the cycle that his last three predecessors had went through: be crowned king of Germany, travel to Italy to win the Iron Crown of the Lombards, travel to Rome and be crowned Holy Roman Emperor after putting down some sort of a rebellion. This is a common theme, and it's one that shows the difficulty with which the realm of the Holy Roman Empire was held together. Upon his death in 1024, Henry had fought 3 wars with the Polish peoples, increased the amount of autonomy that the German dukes had within the empire, and, perhaps most importantly for our story, not named an heir. Henry would be the last ruler of the Ottonian dynasty. The legacy of the Ottonian rulers is that of conflict with the papacy, rebellions at home, discord in their foreign relations, and an increasingly frustrating pattern of having to win the crowns of Italy and the Holy Roman Empire every time a new king was elected in Germany. The Ottonians are also remembered as extensively tying their reigns to the idea of being God's viceroys on earth, as well as incorporating that concept that their rule represented the latest in an unbroken line of Christian kings, from Clovis to Charlemagne, and now through the Ottonians. This is perhaps best seen through Otto III's desire to reinstate the Roman Empire and the Frankish kingdoms, as well as his famous journey to Charlemagne's tomb in the year 1000. Entering the tomb, Otto is said to have wept at the sight of his predecessor, and upon Otto's death, he was laid to rest alongside his hero Charlemagne. I should note that most scholars agree upon the coronation of Otto I in 962 as the definitive founding moment of the Holy Roman Empire. So, from here on out, we can confidently call the empire that belongs to the King of Germany and Italy the Holy Roman Empire with confidence. The Ottonians did a lot in their own right, establishing the authority of the crown in their over 100-year-long hold on power. Nevertheless, the story of the Holy Roman Empire would continue on even after Henry II's death and the extinction of the Ottonian line with the Salian dynasty. And it is there that we will likely pick up next time on the history of the Holy Roman Empire.